Hello and welcome to the latest episode of Home Care Hot Seat. Today I'm joined by Martin Warnes, the director of online recruitment platform Join Social Care. Okay, so thank you so much, Martin, for joining me today. Really appreciate it. So for the benefit of people who are watching this video and don't know already, what is Join Social Care and what do you offer home care providers?
Great, Sarah, thank you for inviting me on today. So Join Social Care is an online recruiting service that's designed for the care sector. There's a clue in the name there. And we originally founded in March 2020, and we were founded to address, I think, three key problems. Firstly there was a long-standing staffing challenge within the care sector that was probably a generation old, and we can kind of quote the number of vacancies in the care sector, but well north of 100,000 on any given day. Kind of secondly, we also saw a lack of technology solutions, or even generally recruitment solutions that were specialist and dedicated to the sector. There'd been a shortage of innovation coming into the care sector. And thirdly, in March 2020, we saw both of those problems being exacerbated by the incoming COVID crisis. So that was our reason for being. But Join Social Care, our real proposition is about helping to solve the recruitment and staffing challenges for care providers in the sector. And we work with both home care providers and also residential care providers. Mm-hmm. Obviously, your audience is focused on home care. And so for home care providers, we enable them to connect with the new source of candidates in their local area, and the source of candidates that has chosen to come to a platform that is dedicated to care. And for those home care providers, we offer a number of different services. So we offer job advertising solutions. We offer search and match across their local area, alerts of new candidates registering. Our real focus is about, in a really competitive employment market, helping those home care providers match themselves as quickly as possible with new candidates as they come into the market.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so when a home care provider comes on board, how does the platform work? How do they navigate it, and where do they start? Could you describe it in like a step-by-step kind of process?
Yeah, well, we seek to make it as intuitive as possible, and we have a philosophy as we've built the website about being mobile first. So we also want it to work on your mobile phone. So it should be the recruitment tool in your pocket. So when a care provider comes to Join Social Care, which they often will come through either by word of mouth, potentially by some advertising that we have done as well. They will land on Join Social Care. They will follow the link that says hire staff, and they will soon find a form to start, a short form to fill in where they connect with our team. One of the team members, we've got a small team. There's six of us who work on the platform. We contact the home care provider pretty quickly. Certainly within 24 hours, but generally we aim for 1 hour. And we then help them complete their registration onto the surface, set them up with a free trial, or else guide them towards the most relevant package. Once they're inside the Join Social Care platform with their username and password, it really is intuitive. There's a very easy to use dashboard that allows them to search and filter their view of local matching candidates. Mm-hmm. That they will be able to filter candidates based on, for example, are they experienced, the candidate's mode of transport, are they DBS checked, for example. There's a number of filters that we offer. So mm-hmm. So the care provider can create the view that suits them, and they can then start interacting with those candidates. we also allow the care provider to create job opportunities on the platform, which again is very straightforward. We've designed it hand in hand with care providers through focus groups, through customer advisory board and ongoing testing, etc. So we're getting constant feedback from our customers, the users of the platform, to help make it intuitive and also relevant to their day-to-day objectives.
Okay. Can I just ask you about your background and how you know about the social care sector?
You can. Well, well, actually, one of the great things I think for me personally about working for Join Social Care is created a real real family connection for me. So my mother worked in healthcare, residential care and home care for a big chunk of her career, and I think for the first time in a while she now knows what I do. So so my childhood was often seeing my mum go out to do shifts, or then actually around the hiring, around starting to fill the shifts in the residential home that she was working in. So it's created a really nice connection there. In terms of my work career, I worked for a number of years with the Reed recruitment business. I was managing director and led the growth of their online business. So hence that's my kind of connection to online recruitment. And when working with Reed.co.uk, social care was always one of our most challenging sectors. But Reed was an online service that sought to work across 40 different sectors, from finance to technology to customer service to healthcare, and hence was a shallow service. So we couldn't look at any specific sector in the depth that it often required. And so coming into the social care sector, it's from a kind of an innovation and a technology perspective, it's fascinating, because the roles within social care, I think from the outside, I think that they're surprisingly skilled, surprisingly specialist, and actually to find good people in this sector is a real challenge on a number of levels, whether it's shortage of candidates, finding people with the right skills and attitude, etc. So it's been, I love working in this sector. It's become a passion, and one that I'm very wedded to help, to play my part in improving.
I think that everyone has that feeling, don't they? Once they start working in the sector, they get a real passion for it.
Yeah, they do. And I think particularly over the last couple of years, where social care has, I think, really come to the fore of I think both in terms of the news feed, I think the issues have become more front of mind. However, I think as a country, what we want to deliver in terms of social care, I think is coming kind of closer to our perception of ourselves as a country. So hopefully myself and yourself and others are in the sector at a time where we can start to affect real change.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. So you initially launched, like you said, in March 2020 with the Department of Social Health and Social Care, but you cut ties with the government, didn't you, a few months later? What led to that decision?
You make it sound very dramatic. I think if I remember, I think
cut ties.
Cut ties, and I think that might have been the headline in the in the press article that Home Care Insight had. However, it wasn't. I don't think it was really that dramatic. So we joined forces with the Department of Health and Social Care in March 2020 as the COVID crisis was coming to life in the UK, and the Department of Health and Social Care, we really enjoyed working with them for 9 months, and I think they deserve a lot of credit for their swift response in seeing the risk of the staffing crisis escalating, and looking to partner with a technology expert to bring recruitment support to the sector, and we were delighted to partner with them for that period of time. But the partnership with them, it was a 9-month program. So we worked with them, and I think together, I think we really helped. We helped hundreds of care providers use a new service. We were there for tens of thousands of candidates who were either on furlough or may have been made redundant. We helped give them a route back into the employment market at a really critical time. I'm really proud with what we achieved with the Department of Health. However, that did come to an end at in February 2021, so just over a year ago, and around about that time, we were talking lots to our customers, and that's both care providers and also candidates, who were giving us really encouraging feedback about what we were delivering. And we were also looking at the problems within the sector, and you know, we weren't ready to give up. We still had ambitions to support those customers, to grow the number of care providers and candidates that we were working with, and also, you know, to really start to solve the problems that we were seeing before us. So I wouldn't use the word cut ties, but I think with the Department of Health, we had a great program. I think we enjoyed working with the government and the people within it.
Okay, thank you. So how many home care providers and candidates have signed up to the service already?
So in terms of home care providers, we currently have about 1,200 registered home care providers on the platform, and they range from small one location local providers up to some of the big national players and franchise organizations. So we've got a full range of the marketplace. In terms of candidates, we currently have 92,105 candidates registered on Join Social Care, and that's increasing at around about 2,500 candidates per week at the moment.
Wow. Gosh.
And to give you I suppose a little bit of colour around those candidates, about 90% of them come to us with experience, and that experience can either be from their previous work experience as a professional carer, or it could be experience in an unpaid capacity, for example, looking after a loved one, and which we see as a big contribution that we can help to make the sector, to help individuals who've had care experience in their life take that step into care as a profession. Okay.
How do those candidates come to know about you? Where did they hear about you?
Well, there's a few different ways. So increasingly, it's through word of mouth, and that's really what we aim for. You know, we want to be a service that goes from person to person, and part of our philosophy there is to build a great customer experience, to build an effective service that other people will be happy to tell others about. Around that, we also have a social media presence. So Facebook, LinkedIn, etc. We build our community and engage with prospective candidates on there, and we also do a range of digital advertising. So with organisations that don't need me to advertise for them, but for example, Google, for example, we will also look at that service for the traffic as well. But primarily, the word of mouth and referrals, that's really what we aim for.
And what is the cost to providers? I take it it's free for candidates, but what's the cost for providers to sign up?
It's a free service for candidates. For providers, we have a monthly fee. It's a subscription service, so we have a regular monthly fee. That fee starts off at £175 per month. However, it can then be tailored to the needs of the care provider, and so those needs may be around how many locations they have, how many job roles they have, and how many candidates they ultimately would like to contact. So we seek to be as flexible as we can, both in terms of enabling care providers to test the service. So there will be a free trial that the care provider, can test drive the service with, and we then seek to be as flexible as possible to make sure that that our service matches their needs and budget.
Right, thank you. And what kind of benefits does Join Social Care have over the likes of Read, for example, and other avenues like social media?
I think there's three things I would highlight there. I think firstly, I think we're creating a brand and a service that is very much centered around social care. So the brand Join Social Care. So for the care providers using the service, they know that the candidate has already made that first step of going to a social care brand. They've already kind of done some of that thinking about considering working in the social care sector. So I think that's one benefit, that the candidates are a little bit more qualified in that respect. I think secondly, it is a service that's dedicated to the care sector. So whereas with other online recruitment platforms, care providers will be very much competing against the likes of Amazon, Tesco, other big organisations. That's not the case on our platform. You're competing with other local care providers, but the conversation is around care. You're not competing with the big logistics giants. And thirdly, it's a service that is a specialist one. So myself and the team, we spend our day focused on the problems of the care sector, the recruitment problems of the care sector, and how we can solve those. We're not thinking about the problems of other sectors, and hence that helps us develop solutions that are relevant for the customers within this space, whether those customers be the care providers or the candidates.
Could you tell me about some of those solutions that help people overcome this crisis? Because there really is a crisis right now, isn't there, in recruitment and retention?
Yeah, there is. So I'll give you a couple of examples there. One of which is it was a really good insight, actually. And it was quite soon after I joined Join Social Care. That's a tongue twister. I spoke to a number of providers about what they were looking for in a recruitment service, but also what they were looking for in terms of a candidate. And what shone through in terms of what they were looking for a candidate, it's not the information that's on a CV. It's not just the skills that somebody has. They were looking for something more than that. They were looking for attitude, commitment, resilience, empathy, etc. So they were looking for the person rather than a set of skills. So this was an example. So the challenge there was, okay, so how do we start to bring the individual to life? And our solution there was to introduce a short video interviewing process where the candidate can start to talk with passion about why they want to work in the care sector. You can start to see their communication. You start to get hints at their empathy. I mean, clearly it's not a substitute for meeting the person in real life and seeing them in work. However, it is a good starting point to that. So that's one example of how we've sought to address a problem in this sector. Another solution revolved around vaccinations. So as you'll remember, vaccination was due to be a condition of employment within the home care sector, and it already was within the residential care sector. To support care providers through that change, we introduced a new section onto the candidate profile around their vaccination status, which meant that care providers were able to see which candidates were vaccinated, had an exemption before they contacted them and started a recruitment process. As of now, that's no longer a requirement for the sector, so it's being removed. I think it's a good example of how we seek to solve problems with a specific social care hat on.
Okay, thank you for that. In October, you launched a campaign to recruit 40,000 carers into the sector in 6 months. We're now 5 months in. So how are you progressing with that campaign?
Well, that 5 months has gone quickly. So since then, we registered 32,000 new candidates onto the platform that we've matched with local care providers. So we're on target for it. We should get to 40,000. It was a stretching target, and when we set that, we wanted to achieve a number of candidates that we felt would make a difference to the care providers who we worked with. So we're on 32,000 at the moment. So we're on track for 40.
Okay, and as we've already discussed, like recruitment retention is one of the biggest challenges facing the home care sector right now. Do you think that Join Social Care could be a solution to this problem?
I think it's definitely a solution. And our purpose as a business is to solve that supply challenge, the supply of new workers into the sector. It's a huge challenge, not one that any individual company on their own can probably solve. It requires government, entrepreneurial businesses, care providers, trade bodies, etc. So there's lots of people who will contribute to it, but we're in it for the long term. And we're here to play our bit to solve those problems.
Can we talk about retention as well? Because you're obviously great at recruiting people into the sector, but how do you help providers retain those staff?
Well, our focus is very much around recruitment, and I've got a number of views around retention, but I think one of the problems one of the contributing factors to high turnover rates in any business is you get your recruitment wrong. So if you recruit the wrong staff, those staff will frequently leave your business in short order, putting you back into a cycle of recruiting. And I think within the care, for a number of reasons, I think the care sector at the moment has got high turnover of staff and a constant demand for high recruitment. So we as Join Social Care, we help our providers improve their retention, hopefully by helping them recruit better in the first place, by bringing candidates into the sector that have got genuine desire to be in the sector, by helping demonstrate those candidates' skills as well as their attitude and commitment to working in the sector. So I suppose that's how we play our piece there.
Okay, and finally, can you just talk about your ambitions for the future in the next 2 to 3 years, where you would like to be as a platform?
I think firstly, it's a good question. I suppose firstly to think about the people who use our service, so the home care providers and the candidates. In 2 to 3 years' time, we want to be making a bigger and a really meaningful difference to those businesses. We want to be the most important source of new candidates that they've got into their businesses. We want to be the most effective. So we want Join Social Care's candidates to be renowned as being well suited to working in the sector. So we're helping solve their recruitment problems. So that's part of the story. We want to grow. It's over the past 12 months we're working with with 1,200 home care providers. There's probably 10,000 home care providers in the UK. So we want to increase our scale and contribution to the wider sector. By doing that, we're also able to offer our candidates the best choice of employer. So growing in terms of scale. And at the moment, we're very much focused on the UK. We are building technology that we would like to be used outside the UK with other partners. So I think within 2 or 3 years, I would hope that that the technology and the services that we're building are helping an ever wider audience.